Stelzer says the clashes occurred throughout the day.
The city of Oakland has cited health and safety concerns as their reasons for raiding the camp, which had housed several hundred people for the past 2 weeks. Last night, around 1,000 protesters marched back to City Hall in an effort to reestablish the site, but were dispersed numerous times by police.
Canadian.
Kazu Aga has provided supplies and training to the anti-Wall Street occupation.
Komplet. O idioțenie totală. Da, nu. Da, nu. Asta seama. Și noi ca niște roboți, ne conformăm.
Every afternoon until it's reestablished. For NPR News, I'm Andrew Stelzer in Oakland.
And police in Atlanta broke up an Occupy Wall Street encampment in downtown Park last night. About 50 people were arrested. German Chancellor Angela Merkel is calling on the private sector to make a significantly
Da, I'm camera conscious acum, știi, și încerc să mă comport normal, ca și cum eu normal așa m-aș comporta.
Whether European leaders meeting in Brussels today will be able to settle on a comprehensive solution to the spreading debt crisis there. The Congressional Supercommittee is convening its first public meeting in more than a month today. It's charged with finding at least $1.2 trillion in budget cuts by late November. According to a new study, changes in the tax code being proposed by President Obama would likely result in a small drop in donations to charities. Here's NPR's Pam Fessler.
President Obama has made nonprofits nervous with his proposals to raise tax rates and to limit deductions for charitable giving by the wealthiest Americans. A new study by the Center on Philanthropy at Indiana University finds that the changes could reduce itemized giving by about 1.3%. The report describes the decrease as relatively modest, but research director Una Osley says the impact would be felt by the nation's charities.
At a time when the needs in families, communities, and around the country are quite great.
The president's plans have gained little traction on Capitol Hill, but could re-emerge during deficit reduction talks. The Center on Philanthropy says a healthy economy would be the best way to boost giving. Pam Fessler, NPR News, Washington.
President Obama's in Denver this morning, where he will unveil a plan to lower the payments for millions of student loan recipients. Here's Education Secretary Arnie Duncan.
They're going to take administrative action by proposing to cap student loan payments at 10% for select borrowers starting next year.
And those with more than one loan would be able to consolidate them at a reduced interest rate. The White House says the changes will carry no additional cost to taxpayers.
Vai, zici că sunt ăla din videoclipurile
Support for NPR comes
din Anglia. Vai, dar ce avem aici? Dar vai!
The new film from
Da, ce avem aici?
starring Brad Pitt and
Răsărit super pista, mă știu dacă pot să-l prind.
Support for VPR comes from Lang McLaury Spera, serving Vermont and New Hampshire's real estate needs from 14 offices and online at lmsre.com. And from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Vermont, independent, not-for-profit, Vermont's local health plan. Information online at bcbsvt.com. It's 7:34. This is VPR News.
Bă, deci era poliția, am uitat să o iau mai încet, cât sunt? 50
still need to be cautious in some areas of the state. While most of the state roads damaged by tropical storm Irene have been repaired, there is still work to be done, and it's unclear how long the will take. Some road projects that would normally have taken years of planning were fixed in days or weeks. Deputy Transportation Secretary says in some areas, sinkholes and landslides are already being reported, and it's possible some roads will have to be rebuilt. The August 28th flood damaged up to 500 miles of state highways. 200 bridges were damaged.
Bă, ce fain e răsărit, nu știu dacă pot să...
More than 20 miles of highway remain closed. Schools remain closed today for some 3,000 Bennington area students as unionized teachers walk the picket line for a 6th day. Yesterday, school officials handed out lunches and breakfast at several locations so that kids on school meals wouldn't go hungry. As negotiations between teachers and local residents vented their frustration on both sides. VPR's Susan Keese has more.
Bennington Elementary School Principal Jim Ross spent his lunch hour distributing meals in Willowbrook apartments.
These are breakfast, these are lunches, and then there's milk that go with each of those.
These are free free meals that the children would otherwise get at school. Now they're picking them up at half dozen locations in Powell, Shasta, North Bennington, and Bennington. Some parents who come in say the teachers
What do you want?
It's hard to understand the insistence on more money when the bad economy has meant pay cuts for many local families. Alicia Bowen's little daughter is mad.
I think it's stupid.
It's mad.
The teachers
are you
mad?
mad?
Making enough money when there's millions of people that can't find a job.
A few blocks away, teachers picketed outside the offices of the Southwest Vermont Supervisory Union, while inside negotiations continue. School board member Tim Holbrook is on the negotiating team.
In terms of the major issues, they really remain the same. Hours and duties, the amount of time that teachers spend with kids during the regular day, health insurance, which is always a concern of people, and salaries.
The teachers have repeatedly said that the real issue for them is the board's unwillingness to use the last negotiated union contract.
Dar ce avem aici? Dar ce avem aici? Și e roșu, deci în dreapta cameră și...
The school boards exercise their legal power to impose their own working conditions. The teachers have been working all year under that imposed contract. Teachers say the imposed contract includes lower base pay and higher payments for health care benefits. More important, they say, it ignores a schedule of pay raises the teachers say took decades of negotiations to establish. Darren Allen is a field representative for the Vermont chapter of the National Education Association.
Had they all along negotiated with the teachers from the base from which they last agreed, these people would not be on strike. The teachers would not be on strike. They've always said, we are willing to talk about salaries, we are willing to talk about health care, we are willing to talk about the school day, but not based on your unilateral decision of where that's going to start.
Allen says school boards around the state have increasingly imposed contracts when negotiations have faltered. Allen says it's a departure that does not respect the collective bargaining process. School board negotiator Tim Holbrook says both the sides have finally gotten past that disagreement.
Wow, ce tare bate să ai.
2008 union contract.
Wow, double rainbow.
The contracts had approximately, there was 200 different items. We put the two contracts together and we agreed on 170 of those 200 items.
Da, mă picioază întorc.
Is the remaining 25. Today, we have been able to eliminate a few of those areas within the contracts that there's been a disagreement to.
Holbrook says the two sides are down to a very few areas of disagreement, and they're chipping away at those. For VPR News, I'm Susan Keese in Bennington.
A bargaining session between the teachers and the school boards broke down over salary negotiations after 14 hours of meetings yesterday, and they hope to resume discussions at 10 o'clock this morning. The eye in the sky forecast for today should be cloudy.
Și am făcut șercuietul pe care îl fac.
And rain likely through the Hudson Valley, Southwest Vermont, and Berkshires as well. Some wet snow may mix in and will have highs in the 40s.
Yay!
For tonight, it should be